We did it! Hi guys, you might be wondering who we are. I'm Courtney.
I'm Evan.
We have a 2-year-old son named Truman who's currently asleep because he had a very long day without a nap. But about 6 months ago, we made a really big decision for our family.
Huge.
Massive. We wanted to share with you guys what that decision was and why we made it.
That decision was to sell everything that we owned and travel the world for a year.
Like our house, everything that was in our house,
Our clothes.
all my books,
We had a whole lot of books.
like everything we own. Except for our car, because his parents are awesome and are letting us leave it at their house.
Courtney, what made us make that decision?
So about 6 months ago, we were really talking about like what we wanted life to look like for us, and we were ready to do something different. We were ready to make some changes, and we just were thinking about what that would look like, what we wanted to do, all that kind of stuff. And I was listening to a podcast because I listen to a lot of those, and it had nothing to do with traveling, but it was this woman interviewing another woman who owned like a landscaping company. The owner of this landscaping company shared how when she was like in her 20s, she went abroad for a year, and when she said that, just something clicked in my brain. And this is something I've wanted to do forever. Like, I've always wanted to travel. Periodically, I would go to Evan and be like, we should just travel forever.
I'm like, no.
Let's move to this place or this random place. And we were in this time of like thinking about what we wanted to do. And so
She's the free spirit if you can't tell.
And so I thought about it. I was like, oh my gosh, we should do this. We should go travel for a year. Could sell our house. That would give us the money to do that because it costs a lot of money. And so in my brain, I was like, okay, if this is something we're supposed to do, I'm gonna text Evan and he's not gonna say no right away. And if it's something that we shouldn't do, he's just gonna say no right away because that's what he says about this kind of stuff. And I just wanted to be in agreement, and I knew it would be like a sign that if we were supposed to do it, he would say,
Yeah.
he would at least think about it.
And I remember that day I was at work and I was actually on a break. So I came in and looked at my phone and there was a text message from her, and she was like, what if we sold everything that we owned and traveled for a year? And without even like a hesitation, I was like, let's do it.
So he texted me, let's do it. And I was like, oh my gosh, we're gonna do it. In that moment, I was like, I knew we were gonna do it. No questions asked. I was gonna seize the moment. That's from Coco.
Wow.
And I wasn't gonna let him second guess it. So from that moment on, we started thinking about it, planning it. We told a couple people that are like mentors to us, and they thought it was a good idea too. So then we started planning it.
What, beside of like all the fun and like cool and hype aspect of it, what is like the heart behind making this decision for us as a family?
Well, we have a 2-year-old son, like we said. His name is Truman.
You'll see him a lot later.
A lot. And we just, for me, I didn't want him to grow up being in daycare all the time, away from us, not getting the good FaceTime with us. And there's nothing wrong with other people putting their kids in daycare is totally necessary. He's been in daycare, but that's just not what we wanted for him right now. And so I also really want him to grow up loving people that are different from him. Like, that is probably the most important thing to me, is to value other cultures and other people that don't look like him, talk like him, dress like him, eat like him, do other things like him. I want him to love people. I want him to love all people. And so what better way than to show him all people all over the world? not to mention, for me, it has literally been like my #1 dream my entire life to visit every single country in the world. So we're not necessarily going to tackle all of the countries right now, but it gives us a really good start.
Yeah.
So. What about you? What is like the heartbeat for you behind all this?
I think for me, the biggest thing that made me just kind of jump at it is, first of all, I am the person that would say no to this typically, and she has a lot of things, so I'm just like, oh, here's just another idea. But really, like when I saw that text message, I just knew in my gut, you know, you have those feelings that like, this is right. I just had one of those feelings that it was like, okay, like my instant first answer is always your best answer, sometimes. That makes no sense. But, so my first gut answer was, yeah, let's do it. So I just went with that and texted her back. And I mean, there's probably a little bit in me that was like, nah, we're not gonna do this.
But I got that text back and I was like, holy crap, he said yes.
We did it. Here we are. And I think for us as a family, like Courtney said, there's nothing wrong with, putting your kids in daycare and having those
at
moments.
all.
Yeah,
like,
nothing
it's
at
totally
all.
necessary for people.
But you know your kids, as a parent, you know your kids and what's best for them. And Truman is just one of those kids that is like so like energetic and just like is so curious. And the biggest thing we didn't want to do was kind of kill that curiosity with just living our everyday life that we were living. We wanted to immerse him in different cultures, different people, and just different experiences to just nurture and like flourish that need to be curious. So, plus we get to go all these awesome places.
Super awesome places. It's
You'll
rad.
see all of those places later on.
So if,
There it went.
what?
You thought? She's gone.
No. So in upcoming videos, we'll have like what this process looked like for us, how we did it, how we sold all of our stuff, or maybe how not to sell all of your stuff if you're wanting to do that, how to plan a trip like this.
What we're packing, our bags, how many bags we're taking, what gear we're using to record stuff, our camera bag.
Plus we'll put like vlogs of all the different places that we're at, and how to travel with a toddler, what he needs, all of those different kind of things. But if there is things that you want to know, we would love to know that too. You can put it in the comments below. But thank you so much to everybody that has already subscribed, even like without a single video. That's super awesome.
Yeah.
And we're so grateful for that. If you're not subscribed, you can hit the subscribe button below. You can also like this video below, and it would help us out a lot.
Hit the little bell to get notifications when we post.
I didn't know about the bell, but hit the bell. Yeah, thank you so much, and we'll see you in our next video.